Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back for episode 114. Coming your way here, going solo for this show. So just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody. As always, I appreciate all your support. So thank you for watching, for listening. Thank you to producer Kevy. I've kind of taken over some editing here, but he gets probably more messages now that I'm doing it and has to help me even more. So it's probably harder for him now that I'm doing it to coach me through it than it is just do it himself. So continued big thanks to him. Little housekeeping as always. If you guys could rate, review, comment, subscribe, share, let people know Ole Walls House. It's a place to come hang out. It's the best spot. So this show, we're talking some golf, the Arnold Palmer. We got to talk North Carolina taking down Duke. Hell yeah. A little other college basketball. We have the Flyers to talk about. We have UFC 299. We have my passing thoughts. There is some free agency news in the NFL that's been going pretty wild today. So all that's coming up. Before we get there, Liquid IV. If you're looking for 20% off, the promo code is OWH. Liquid IV. I love it. I use it almost daily. I like the convenience of that little package. In with 16 ounces of water, more electrolytes than your leading sports drink, quicker hydration than water alone. They donate a bunch of water. I believe equitable access to water is important, and it's non-GMO. It's vegan, non-dairy, all the good stuff, all that crap in there too. So get your Liquid IV. You go to liquidiv.com. You go to the link in the show notes. Promo code is O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. Promo code OWH, Liquid IV, 20% off. All right, let's get to the show. Start off with some golf, shall we? The Arnold Palmer Invitational is won by Scotty Scheffler. He shoots a final round, bogey-free, 66 to win by 5 shots. Next closest guy is Wyndham Clark. Scheffler's 15 under, Wyndham Clark 10 under for the weekend. Followed by, rounding out the top 10 here, you have Shane Lowry at 9, 6 back. Then you have a couple guys at 7, Will Zalatoris and Russell Henley. Sahith Theegala with another good Sunday round here. Vaults himself up into the top 10. Brendan Todd, Andrew Putnam, Emiliano Grillo, Ben On with a final round 68 as well. Matching, I believe that was the second best round of the day by him and Theegala at 4 under. Yes, that is correct. And then Max Homa sneaks into the bottom of the top 10. Not as ideal of a round for Max Homa. 1 over after he comes in pretty close to the lead. Not pretty close, but I mean he was hovering around it, not pretty close. He was 4 back, but he would hope he gets something there. Scotty Scheffler. It came together this week, and this is the thing. We've been talking a lot about his putting and how it's been an issue, and it was an issue this week. It was far from an issue. It was a positive. He gained strokes. Strokes gained plus 1.09 putting for the week. 3.88 strokes gained putting in the final round. His final round, 66, was the best of the day by 2 shots and tied for best of the whole week. So just a fantastic round as everybody else was kind of mulling around and not doing anything. You look at the guys in, Zalatoris, Henley, and Lowry all shot even. Wyndham Clark 2 under. He, in a day that was playing pretty hard, he made it look pretty easy. 5th overall in strokes gained putting this week, which when he does that, when he has a good week putting, he's going to lap the field. Like that's just what it is. Like he just has to have average weeks to hang around and contend. And, really, I mean, shoot, he hangs around and contends when he doesn't putt well. When he putts average, he's going to have real chances to win. And when he putts well, look out. He's the best player in golf right now. I think that's pretty fair. Your next best guys, you're talking probably John Rahm still. Joaquin Niemann's been playing really good. You can really never count Brooks out, not that he does a whole lot lately. And then maybe Wyndham Clark is one of the better guys of late as well. But I think I think Scotty Scheffler is above and beyond all of them. He brought a new putter in the bag. Apparently he listened to Rory McIlroy. Rory said maybe you should go to a mallet. He did, and it worked out fantastically. He started the week off, I think his first round, he lost a bunch of strokes in his first round and still shot 2 under. was just barely over 1.54. And then round 3 into round 4, I think he one putted from like 11 on round 3, and then never missed a putt inside 15 feet on Sunday. I know a couple of those putts were like he had like 18 footers and lagged them up there. Not lagged them necessarily, from like 18 to 16 to 20 feet or so, but had just little tap ins. So we go to the players next week, where he's the defending champ. We'll talk more about the players in a little bit, but man, tough to say he's not a favorite. I mean, that was just virtuoso. Like I said, as everybody else was kind of struggling, he was not. I mean, he's hitting it. I think I heard a stat. I think I heard on No Laying Up that his ball striking is the second best ball striking year, other than Tiger Woods' 2006 year, and it's better than the other Tiger Woods like years, which is not usually how those stats work. It's usually like Tiger, somebody else, Tiger, then everybody else after that. So, I mean, second best all time. And everybody's been saying, like, if he could just put the putting together, he's going to blow people out. It proved very, very true. Very, very true. I mean, I just don't know what else to say about it. It was impressive. Another thing that's pretty impressive is Will Zalatoris. Like I said, didn't have his best final round. Even par 72. Kind of struggled out of the gate. Was one over at the turn. Made a birdie on 10. Dropped one back on 14. Made birdie on 16 late. And wasn't a real threat once Scotty got going. But had played some pretty fantastic golf. And after the 11th hole, it might have continued a little bit, but he was 5 under for his round 3 round after 11. Was at 11 under par at the time and was 5 or 6 clear of second place, and then made some whoopsies coming home. Made a bogey on 14, doubled 15, got back a birdie on 16, and then doubled 18. So not a good end of the day Saturday, and it kind of carried around to some sluggishness to start on Sunday, but still pretty impressive week for him, as he's kind of coming back from the back surgery. He did end up for the event having a positive strokes gained putting, kind of ballied off the first couple rounds. He lost strokes in round 2. In round 3, he gained 1.61. And his putting has been better. It was a big issue before he was injured. He was really making some weird movements. He's gone to the broomstick. There were some questionable strokes late in the day on Saturday. But, for the most part, it's pretty impressive what he's been doing. Just listen to this. T2 at Riviera, T4 at Bay Hill, 3 top 5, and then those are just this year. But then you go back, 3 top 5s and 6 top 10s and 9 majors as a pro. T6 and second in both his starts at Augusta. He's had 4 straight positive strokes gained putting since he's gone to the broomstick. So he's going to be a big favorite. He's playing some good golf as well. Very impressive. Sahith Theegala, I think, has been on a nice little run. I can't say that for sure, but I think he's been playing some good golf lately. I think, let's see, his strokes gained off the tee was plus 1.08. Where's that rank for the week? 4th. And that's been a struggle for him. He gained 2.26 shots on Sunday. So if Sahith Theegala is going to drive the ball well, he can contend in some big events. This week was not without controversy. Saturday on the 18th hole, Wyndham Clark was in the rough. The rough was pretty deep this week. Sorry, as I shake the camera, I'm scratching some things off of my screen. Wyndham Clark found himself with a lie that was not great and was placing his club behind the ball. And there were some questions over whether or not the ball moved. Some people will tell you it did. Some people will tell you it didn't. There was some questions on the intent of what he was doing with his club. Was he smashing down behind the ball? Was he just getting, his club in there to see what it looked like? It's not the best look for him. I kind of fall to the point where I'm not super up in arms about this. I think everything in golf can look really bad if you zoom all the way in, if you put it in super slow-mo, and you're focused on that. If we see this again from him, then the questions start up. If one time, he's placing his club behind the ball and it looks a little questionable, yeah, I get it doesn't look great, but I'm not going to get all up in arms on it. If we're just going to keep doing this week in and week out, where we're going to pick the three guys in the lead, and we're going to zoom the cameras that can zoom all the way in, with it in super slow mo. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the ball might shift a little if the grass. If we're asking the guys to hover the club and the ball can never move a millimeter, I don't know. I don't want to like downplay that cheating and things like that, because I think if this was Patrick Reed, we'd all be losing our minds, myself included. So I think your history and kind of what that plays a factor. Like, if you're someone who's worried about somebody who's a cheater, then yeah, again, like I said, if Wyndham Clark is doing this repeatedly, then yeah, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Bay Hill gets a lot of shit as a course. I'm just so not golf course architecture nerd. Like, oh, this course is fantastic. Like, does the course produce compelling tournaments? If the answer to that is yes, I'm in on it. Does it challenge the guys? Yes, and this course does. And so I like it. They can make this place play hard. I mean, and there was a compelling golf tournament for second. You had a guy at 10, a guy at 9, a couple guys at 7, a couple guys at 5. Scotty Scheffler put on a fantastic performance and kind of ran away with it. And that's what happens sometimes. But I think, I know the golf course architecture nerds will tell you this place sucks. But it leaves for some fun. I mean, there were huge numbers out there on the 6th hole. Tommy Fleetwood made a 10. Jake Knapp made a 12. Speaking of Tommy Fleetwood, in my other pick for Fantasy Golf this league, Matt Fitzpatrick, 11 guys got cut. 11 guys got cut. I had picked 2 of them. How is that possible? How is that possible? Ugh. Rough for me. Anything else from this week? I think that kind of wraps up for this week. A couple other thoughts I just had. Oh, Anthony Kim. Anthony Kim shoots 65 in the final round of Live Hong Kong. His first sub-70 round, his first under par round. Made 7 birdies. 65, or did he shoot? Oh, it was a par 70. So 7 birdies, a couple bogeys in there. So some flashes for Anthony Kim. Some flashes. I think he still finished like 50th or something overall out of the 54 guys. The course was 6,700 yards. It was, I guess, pretty tight, but I didn't watch it. It was in the middle of the night. So yeah. Next week. Oh, one other thing before we get to next week at the Players. There are way too many golf tracker accounts out there. I saw a Russell Henley Twitter or X account, Twitter, formerly known as. I saw a Russell Henley tracker account on X. Like, come on. Do we need a Russell Henley tracker account? What's the dude doing? He's just reading off the PGA Tour app and then tweeting it. I guess if you had like 750 followers, I guess if that's what you want to do with your life, go for it. But I don't think we need it. Next week is the Players, an event that has been severely damaged by the live split. Interestingly, I did see that the Players had still said the best field in golf, which it obviously is not. It's not the best field in golf. There were arguments that it was previously, before the live split, but those I think are also unfounded. If you look, the PGA Championship almost consistently had the best field in golf. I know people will say, "Oh, the 20 PGA Tour, the PGA teaching pros that make it." The stats would tell you that almost every year that was still ranked better. Some people cite the Masters field by some stats because you can count because it's so top heavy, and then you get kind of the crap of the ex champions that are the older guys. But small field. PGA Championship was usually number 1. The Players was right there. I don't want to act like the Players was like 800th or something like that. the Players was probably, any given year, probably even in some years, it probably was the best field. I should probably say that. But I mean, it was, in the top 3 every year. That's not the case anymore. Like, you can't claim to have the best field in golf when John Rahm and Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, maybe Taylor Gooch even, the Goochster. Actually, if he wasn't there, no one would give a shit. But I mean, those 3 guys. John Rahm, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Joaquin Niemann, like those guys, there's not a best field in golf if they're not in it. So the majors, the PGA is going to be by far the best field in golf this year, with the Opens there and the Masters kind of trailing behind as well. So, that's all for golf this week. We'll see. The Players is always fun. I don't mean to say that I'm not going to enjoy the Players. It's still probably the best event on the PGA Tour now. Full field, full cut, all the best players that the PGA Tour can offer. It's just not the best field in golf anymore. That's just not the case. So I'll be excited for that next week. So let's keep rolling. College basketball time. Let's start with, of course, the most important game of the weekend. Heels, baby. Tar Heels. The UNC Tar Heels are the ACC regular season champions. They sweep the season series with Duke. They head into Cameron Indoor and come out of the gate strong in the 50th top 10 matchup between Duke and UNC. I think I talked last time. It's like you can add up like the next 4 or 5, and it still doesn't match up to this one. And they all include like Duke and UNC down the line. So again, by far the best rivalry in college basketball. I think the best rivalry in all of sports, college or pro. There was a stat on the TV, and I couldn't find it for the life of me, that was talking about when UNC and Duke play the final game of the year with the ACC title on the line, like, whether it's to determine an outright champ, whether or not, someone's going to share it. And I think like the last 10 times they have played, dating back to at least into the 90s, if not further. I can't remember the stat exactly. I saw it was like, holy shit. UNC has won every single one of them. So when that final game comes and UNC needs it to win the title or to get a share of the title, they beat Duke, which is absolutely incredible. As soon as I saw that on my TV, I was like, oh, fuck. Bingo. That was all I could think. But I need to start off this segment here with an apology to Cormac Ryan. On multiple occasions this year, I've been quite hard on Cormac Ryan. For a stretch there, I reversed that, and I came back and reversed it again. So this will be my one reverse, then a reverse. This will be my third reversal. I need to apologize to Cormac Ryan. He played his ass off. Led the team in scoring with 31 points, I believe was the final total. Came out as North Carolina came flying out of the gates, got out to a big lead early, and just kind of started to put it on Duke. Duke eventually kind of closed it up a little bit. But Cormac Ryan hit 3 threes at the start of that game, finishes with 31 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Could do a little more elsewhere. And then hit 3 really big threes in the second half, and Duke got it down to, I think, as low as 4 on multiple occasions. Wowza. What a performance from him. In a game where RJ Davis wasn't great. He kind of struggled. Let's see what he ended up with. Only ended up with 9 points, shot 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Did not get to the foul line at all. He had a couple of rebounds, a couple assists. Turned it over 3 times. Like it was a not good performance from RJ Davis. And, the team was there to pick him up. Another big contribution from Harrison Ingram. I think it was 14 and 10. Let me pull the stats. Yeah, 14 and 10, another couple assists, a steal, a block. Just solid. It's just like every time you need him, he's solid. A guy who I really like, Seth Trimble, only 6 points in just under 20 minutes, added 4 rebounds. I just like him. He goes to the hoop hard. He finishes well. He had a nice moment too. So just a good day to be at Tar Heel. Good day to be at Tar Heel. We should also point out Duke, in never-ending Duke fashion, has been sure to make sure that they got a big white dude who's annoying and is a douche nozzle. He's out there tripping people. Filipowski tripped Harrison Ingram coming up the court, and I saw his explanation was like, I didn't even realize what I was doing. Okay, buddy. Okay, so North Carolina wins the ACC regular season. They head to the ACC tournament as the top overall seed. They get the double bye along with Duke, the 2 seed, Virginia, the 3 seed, and Pitt, the 4 seed. The ACC tournament kicks off on Tuesday, the day this pod releases. Those are the early games. You're talking the 12 and the 13, the 10 and the 15, the 11 and the 14 will play. Notre Dame and Georgia Tech to play Wake Forest, so on and so forth. We don't need to get into that. North Carolina will play their first game on Thursday at noon. A little early basketball. It is March, after all. We need a little early basketball. They play the winner of Virginia Tech and Florida State. Then would play the winner of Pitt, and it could be Wake Forest, Notre Dame, or Georgia Tech. Then that game, that would lead them to the championship game, where your top 4 seeds on that side of the bracket are Duke, Virginia, Syracuse, and Clemson. So everything with the way the ACC is this year, Duke and North Carolina are the class of that. There's always upsets around the corner, but everything sets up for a Saturday rematch for those guys, as happens from time to time, where you get a couple of the Carolina Duke games in back-to-back weekends. So that is very, very, very possible. Elsewhere in college basketball, I just want to shout out the West Coast Conference tournament. It is, I think they call it a gauntlet-style tournament. So the first round starts with one game, the 8 seed versus the 9 seed. Here, I can even show you. I'll just show you what I'm looking at. Yeah, so right here you go. You can even see if we can. Yeah, now we're talking. So you start right here with Pepperdine and Pacific to get to here, the second round, where you have the 6 and 7, Portland and Loyola Marymount, then San Diego and Pepperdine as the 5 and 8 seed. I love this. So those teams each got a single bye. Well, not really for the 7 and 8. But then the winners of that move to face the 3 and 4 seeds, who are San Francisco and Santa Clara. So San Francisco faces Portland, and Santa Clara faces San Diego. So those guys get the double bye. Then the winners of those, which was San Francisco and Santa Clara, face the 2 and 1 seed, St. Mary's and Gonzaga, which got the triple bye on Monday night. As I'm recording this pod, it's just a little ways away. And then the winners of that playing championship. I love it. I think that is a fantastic setup, especially for like the non-Power 5 conferences. I think that's awesome. I think that's sweet. So, we're coming up here on the tournament. We're going to be doing some tournament coverage this year, like always, people. Just a little bubble watch here. Wanted to just kind of spin through here and see what we'll be looking for. Looking for teams that really need some wins. The ACC. I mentioned it was not a great year for the ACC. Who's this article by? John Gassaway, an ESPN insider, says there's only 3 teams in the ACC, Carolina, Duke, and Clemson. Work to do, Virginia, Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest, and Syracuse, all looking for some big wins. The Big 12, probably the best conference in college basketball. We're talking Houston, Kansas, Iowa State, Baylor, BYU, Texas Tech, TCU, and Texas all in, with Oklahoma on the should-be-in line, with Kansas State looking for some work to do. The Big East, UConn Huskies, Marquette, and Creighton all in, looking for Seton Hall, St. John's, Villanova, and Providence as work to do, guys. The Big Ten, where all the good football teams are all shitty and all the shitty football teams are good at basketball. They have Purdue, Wisconsin, funny enough, and Illinois all as locks, with Northwestern, Michigan State, and Nebraska all as should-be's, with Iowa on the outside looking in as the work to do. Pac-12, Arizona, and Washington State, just 2 teams as locks. Colorado should be in. Work to do. The Utah Utes. SEC probably, if not number 2, they could be the best. They got Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, South Carolina, Kentucky, who's a team that's streaking right now, and many see as a favorite. heading into the NCAA tournament. And Florida all is in with work to do for Mississippi State and Texas A&M. I'm not doing this in the other conferences. So yeah, so it's college basketball. We're gonna have we'll be picking all the games again this year. We'll be having some guests in. It might be rotating. We're working some schedules, so we will be picking every single game. I'll be there each week, and we'll keep a running go of it. So that pretty much wraps up college basketball for us here. So fun stuff. Can't wait for the tournament. Cannot wait. Flyers update. Tough week for the Flyers. 3-point week. 3 games, 3 points. Drop a tough one to the Blues on Monday in a shootout. Pick up a big important win over the Panthers to really salvage something out of this week. End up scoring a goal with 20 seconds left in the game to win 2-1. Despite the fact that there were about 3 sticks, a helmet, all kind of floating around in the area around the net, snuck one in there to get the win late. Then Saturday, however, that was not good. The Lightning absolutely boat race us, 7-0 beat down. John Tortorella is ejected from the game and refuses to leave the bench, as motherfucking the shit out of the refs for a long time. And that was an ugly loss. I think I saw Tortorella was fined like $50K. And I don't know if I remember if he's out for a couple games for it or not. I can't remember. But tough week, kind of. Looking forward, we got the Sharks. That game's like going to start in any minute now here. The Sharks tonight, San Jose. They're not great. They're pretty bad. I'm looking at the standings here. A measly 39 points, 16, 40, and 7. Should need to win that game. Have to win that game because there are a couple of tough games at the back half of the week. They host the Maple Leafs on Thursday. Maple Leafs, pretty solid team. They're in third place in the Atlantic Division. 82 points for the boys. 37, 19, and 8. Solid team. And then on Saturday, they go to Boston, to the Bruins, who are just a point back of the Florida Panthers and for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. And, one of the 3 best teams between the Canucks and the Panthers and them, points-wise. The Bruins had a great year last year. Bruins in not their greatest stretch, 5-1-4 lately. The Leafs have been playing some pretty good hockey, 7-3 lately. And then the Sharks are 1-7-2. They are the worst team in the league differential-wise, -111. Anybody worse than that in the Eastern Conference? Not even close. Flyers have fallen under the point differential into the negative due to that 7-0 beatdown. So right now the Flyers, they're 2 points up on the Islanders, who have been hot lately. The Islanders 7-2-1 in their last 10. Flyers 4-5-1. So the Islanders have made up some ground. 2 points up, but they've played 2 more games than the Islanders. When you look at the wild card, they are tied with the Lightning at 74 points. Both have played 65 games. The Islanders are in the second wild card spot right now with room to move up. The team chasing after them is the Red Wings, who are 72 points with 64 games. So essentially tied. If it breaks the right way, it could work out for them. I'm sorry. I said that the Flyers play tonight. I'm an idiot. That's tomorrow night. That's Tuesday night, the night of the podcast release. The Islanders do play tonight. They're out in LA. Tough Kings team. So hopefully the Kings can bring us some good luck. The Kings are a -145 favorite. -145 favorite for us. What else do the Islanders got this week? Let's see if we can find them here as we look through the schedule. The Sabres, who I don't think are that great. So Kings, Sabres, early in the week. What do they got later in the week on the weekend? The Senators, also not good. And Sunday, they play the Rangers. So two solid teams. The Rangers, very good, obviously. But the Senators and the Sabres, not good. And the Kings, a very solid team. So looking for a little help from some other teams in the league to kind of beat up those Islanders a little bit. And meanwhile, got to beat the Sharks and got to try and steal one from the Leafs or the Bruins. So, okay, let's keep on rolling. Haven't done one of these in a while, but there was a really fun UFC card, UFC 299. I got it. I watched it. It was a good time. Really enjoyed watching it. Had some really good fights. I mean, right from the get-go, started off with a good bout between Petr Yan, and Song Yadong, name of the decade, by the way, in fight sports. Song Yadong. Petr Yan won a big fight for him there. Wins rounds 2 and 3 probably on most cards. I forget what the exact decision was, but he gets the decision win. Good start to the card. Petr Yan letting people he's not going away. He was, he fought Aljamain Sterling, gave him that knee, and then lost to him in the next one after getting DQ'd. So kind of bounces back. Jack Della Maddalena. Was that the one that ended up in Hammer Fist? No, that was the Curtis Blades event. I don't remember what happened, what the KO was in the Jack Della Maddalena when he fought Gilbert Burns. I have no notes. And I just honestly I can't remember it for the life of me. I remember the fight right before. I remember all the other fights, but I just nothing comes to mind there. Kevin Holland fights Michael Venom Page in MVP's debut in the Octagon. He is an interesting dude. He's wild. He's funky in the ring. He's taunting. He's doing things. The fight was that was probably the worst fight of the night. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Gilbert Burns was. Those middle two fights weren't my favorite of the card, but they were still the Michael Page one was interesting just because of how wild he is. And then the next fight in the card, my fight of the night, one of my favorite fighters, Dustin Poirier, fights Benoit Saint Denis, a former French special forces in the French military. He was I don't know if putting it on Dustin Poirier was the thing, but he was having a lot of success. He was mauling him. He was getting him to the ground. He was getting in some clinches. Poirier kept going for the guillotine, and it wasn't always working out. And his corner was even telling him no, but he caught Benoit Saint Denis on the way in, and then just rocked him, and got the finish. A big win for Poirier in a fight that it looked like he was in trouble in. There was a hell of a pace to that fight. The commentators were saying, no way this thing goes all 5 rounds. And I mean, I'm not a fight expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I could imagine it didn't look like it was going all 5 rounds either. But what a win for Dustin Poirier. Kind of puts him back into title contention there in the lightweight division. And then the main event, the bantamweight champion, Sugar Sean O'Malley, fighting Marlon Chito Vera, the only guy he's ever lost to. It was in a fight he hurt his foot in. He wanted that to be known, and a pretty dominant performance from Sean O'Malley. Came out, got the first round, and kind of never really looked back. Delivered a hellish kind of jumping knee in the second to Vera that I have no idea how Chito ate that. I mean, he ate it and just kind of kept going. Chito had some better moments in the third and fourth round, particularly the fourth, but Sugar Sean answered. I mean, I was super impressed with Sugar Sean's striking. He was working the body well. He was kind of switching stances to just give a different look. His movement was good. I mean, it was a pretty virtuoso performance. Vera did get a big body shot late as the fifth round was kind of winding down to Sugar Sean that definitely affected him. But that was just a little too late, unfortunately for Vera. But what a great performance by Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's now 18-1-0 with 1 no contest. So his star continues to rise. Moving forward, Tai Tuivasa fights this coming weekend on the fight night card. I don't know anyone else on that, but I might if it starts at 6 p.m. my time, so I might catch that. Rose Namajunas on the next fight night card the following week. Don't know anybody else on that one. Obviously, a lot of some of the better guys are all kind of lined up for UFC 300. Martin Vettori is fighting on April 6th, and then in about a month's time. UFC 300, which is just a wild card start to finish. Shockingly enough, the two events at the two fights at the top of the card kind of interest me the least. Alex Pereira and Jamala Hill. Though that one's kind of growing on me for the light heavyweight title. Hill never actually lost that title, I'm pretty sure. Weili Zhang fights. Oh, here we go. It's YANXIAONIAN. Young John? Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. That should be a fun fight. I don't think it's going to go well for Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira fights Bo Nickel on the main card. It doesn't stop there. Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling on the undercard. Holly Holmes on the undercard. Jiri Prochazka and Alexander Rashik also on the prelim card. And the early prelims, Bobby Green and Jim Miller, Deiveson Figueroa and Cody Garbrandt, Jessica Andrade, Jalen Turner. That is a loaded, just start to finish card. So might have that too. In the boxing world, Francis Ngannou gets knocked the fuck out by Anthony Joshua. Joshua knocks him down 3 times and then absolutely flatlines him for a second knockdown in the second round, and the fight is over. So very interesting comparison between AJ's fight with Francis and Tyson Fury's. So who knows? Hopefully we still get Fury. Usyk, that is still scheduled to come up here in April, I think. Hopefully we get that. All right. Let's keep on moving. NFL free agency. I thought I was just going to kind of toss this into passing thoughts, but a lot has happened, particular for my Green Bay Packers. The day started off kind of as we expected, or thought, maybe not expected, but a lot of talk about this was happening. David Bakhtiari was released after 11 years. Just an absolute force at left tackle. For many years considered one of, if not the best left tackle in the league. Ended up with a knee injury late in, what was it, 2020 or 2020, 2019, 2020. That has really just hampered him. He's never been able to get back right. By cutting him, they saved $21 million in cap space. He was obviously well paid and deservedly so. The timing of his big payday may have been questionable. In hindsight, he just never got back from that injury. That followed DeAndre Campbell being released, which was kind of expected as well, along with Darnell Savage. The fireworks started flying, though, when the Josh Jacobs signing was announced. All this to be said, NFL free agency technically doesn't start until Wednesday, but today at noon they were allowed to start talking with players, and funny enough, all these deals come together very quickly. But Josh Jacobs, they announced they signed Josh Jacobs. Originally, there was no numbers with the signing. It's since come out. It's going to be 4 years, $48 million for Josh Jacobs, a 26-year-old running back who was with the Las Vegas Raiders. And, kind of first thoughts were, holy shit, they're going Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones backfield. Expect Dylan to be released. That's kind of the way they're going. And then, not too much longer after the Josh Jacobs announcement, within an hour or so, I want to say, it came out that Aaron Jones will be released. He has a $17.5 million cap hit coming up. So now the big question is, will he be released now? Or will it be they'll wait until June 1st to make that official? I guess they can only do the June 1st thing twice in an offseason. They already did that with Campbell. If they wait until June 1st, instead of freeing up $5 million, it would free up $12 million. I guess the reports are that the Packers had gone back to Jones and asked for him to renegotiate and bring down his salary. They obviously decided him to, I think he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus, have decided that was not the way to go and that they were going to test the market, and they have decided to part ways. So the once fleeting thought of a backfield of Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones is gone. Josh Jacobs now the lead back in Green Bay. The Packers were not done, though. After losing Savage, they went out and got Xavier McKinney, a very, very good safety to replace that. I think that's an upgrade at safety. He gets a 4-year, $68 million deal, like $21 million in the first year. So a big signing. The Packers making some moves early in free agency. There were other moves around the league. Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins signs a 4-year, $110 million deal with the Raiders. So the Raiders are going to have, coming off the edges, Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby. Pretty formidable duo there. Saquon Barkley will be going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Barkley to the Eagles. Hell of a little grab for them. I'll be very, very interested to see Saquon Barkley with a good team. See what he can do with a good team. That'll be very, very fun to watch, I think. And kind of the other big one, Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. So all of that stuff happened very fast. There's plenty more that by the time this pod comes out that we'll be completely missing from this, but I don't want to put it off forever. So wild start to the NFL free agency, which has become much more interesting than NFL free agency has been. The last couple of years has become much more interesting than it was previously. So fun day in NFL land. Time for some passing thoughts. Let's start with this. Fletch. Watch Fletch. Never seen Fletch. Chevy Chase is in that. Fun movie. It's so 80s it hurts. It is quintessential 80s movie. It's fucking all over the place. You always the joke's always the 80s movies are just written by cocaine. Can confirm that movie was just dialed up by cocaine. A young John Hoynes from The West Wing is the villain in that one. Fun movie though. I like 80s movies, so it lined up. I can't believe I saw this. It triggered me to no end. I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I think it was Zaire Golf posted. Yeah, Zaire Golf posted the thing about a team shooting 42 in a scramble. It's oh my god, these fucking cheaters. And I'm sure there's stuff that goes with it. You can probably buy, it's probably for a charity, so you can probably buy something to tee off from the women's tees on a par 5, making it much more eagleable and all this shit. And that's one thing. Fucking people who cheat in charity scrambles are losers, by the way. But this one dude comments, "How short is the course? ? I've played in groups where 4 teams are 26 to 28 under on 64 to 6,600 yard tracks. Group's average handicap are +1 though. +1 golfers are incredible. They're very, very, very good golfers. If I could ever become a +1, it'd be awesome. I'm not even fucking close. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them. They're not immortal, though. I think sometimes people think, if you're a scratch golfer, you just always shoot under par. That's not the case. Now, yes, is a team of 4 scratch golfers plus handicaps going to play very well? And from 6,600 yards, are they going to shoot some really low number? Hey, if it's a really, if there's a couple of drivable par 4s, are they liable to maybe get it to 19, 20? Yeah, possible. But to say there are 4 groups that are shooting 26 to 28 under. Let's just take 26. That means you have to get it on every par 5 and 2 and make the putt. So 4 eagles on the par 5s. Every time. Then you have to find 4 other holes. 4 par 4s. 4 more where you drive it on the surface or get it up somewhere where you can get close enough to chip it in or hole one out. And you're not saying that one team is doing that. You're saying 4? What drugs are these people on? Or what is the point in just lying like that? I just don't understand. It's just not fucking possible. In what world do these people live in? And then I saw another one. This was on a different thing. You're a +2 playing in a scramble and only shot a 59? Jesus Christ. What is wrong with these people? 26 to 28 under. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. 26 to 28. So if it's 28, if you're 18, 4 eagles on the par 5s, there's 22. Now we need 6 more fucking eagles? What the fuck are we talking about? 6,600 yards. Hang on. My golf course is 6,500 yards. Let me find the scorecard. Because this is redonkulous. The level, I can't believe I'm like that. It got me again. Course info. Here we go. I'm just going to read off the par fours. First hole, total yardage 65-62. First hole, 351. You can get it down around there because there's a dog leg, but it takes a hell of a shot. Then you got to chip one in or out. I mean, come on. Next par 4, 422. Next par 4, 422. Next par 4, 421, and it's impossible. Next par 4, 376. Okay. 341. That one you can almost kind of get to. After that, we go 384, 390, 410, 402. We're getting it on 4 to 6 of those, and then we're just making the putt every time. And if we get it, maybe you get a couple on, and you just got makeable putts on all. Just easy. Fucking 48, 28 under, no problem, not a big deal. The fuck, this isn't fucking PGA Tour 04. I don't know why this is in my notes. I make notes for my sections all the time. It just says wings get blue cheese. I don't know what led to that, but yes, wings get blue cheese. Buffalo wings get blue cheese. Mild, hot, medium, blue cheese. Barbecue, blue cheese. If you're getting a chicken wing, it gets blue cheese. I agree. Ate at a Wahlburgers. Out here, there's a grocery store, Hy-Vee. I was on the road and in kind of a weird spot. I saw Hy-Vee. I was like, Hy-Vees also have like these things like, it's like a little mini buffet where you can get like a stir fry cooked up for you. You can get some other stuff. They have some decent sushi. I was like, yeah, I'll just go down to Hy-Vee and get some. They had a Wahlburgers. I think I'll try this out. I've always seen it. They make a pretty solid burger. I got like the Wahlburger sauce on it. Very good. Very, very good burger. I had to print something off at that same hotel. And it was a desktop computer with like the old black keyboards with the really high buttons. So weird, like when you're used to using a laptop keyboard. Ooh, just really out there. Just really out there. I've also got these pants that I like to wear for work. You know, I'm at farms, so my clothes can come back smelly. So I have pants and clothes dedicated for work. And then when I come home after work, they sit outside in the garage because they stink. These pants are comfortable. They got some nice stretch to them. Good for driving, being in the car for a long time. But my God, they wrinkle so bad. And even if you like throw them in the dryer, that doesn't really get rid of the wrinkles. I'm out here iron. I have ironed more in the past 2 to 3 months since I've had these pants than I've ironed in my entire life. Yikers. There was also a giant traffic jam on I-80 when I was coming home that day. Like slowed me down for like an hour and a half. Really put a wrench in my plans to get home. I was going to get home late that night, and then it just wasn't working. Just wasn't working out. I've got this bird that just keeps flying into my bedroom window. Like as soon as the sun comes up, and then like I'll just hear it throughout the day, just running into the window. Apparently, in mating season, birds get pissy at each other, and it's seeing its reflection in my window is the one explanation I've kind of come across. It's like pecking at the window, it'll just come back, bang, bang. And right before daylight savings time, which, well, hang on, we'll just get right before daylight savings time, when it was getting light at like 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning. That was how I was getting woken up. Just bam, bam, bam. This fucking bird flying into my window. What an idiot. I do not have a problem with daylight savings time, by the way. I enjoy it to not be dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So the sooner we can get to that, it's still light at like 7 o'clock now, and in no time at all, it'll be light from 5:30 till 8:30. That's awesome. Especially if you live on like an Eastern time zone. Give me an Eastern part of the time zone. Give me those later days as best I can. The city of Kenosha put out a wild thing. I hope this is real. It was sent to me from friend of the program, Jeff Slanovic. Says, do you have a hole that needs to be filled? The city of Kenosha takes public safety very seriously, which is why we're excited to launch our new hashtag Show Us Your Hole public safety initiative. To participate, simply send us a picture of your hole along with its location and the tagline, "Come fill my hole," and we will dispatch our crews to service your hole in a prompt and professional manner. Your satisfaction is our priority. Oh, I am sure it is. I'm sure it is. Oh, yikes. They have to be doing that on purpose. They have to be doing that. Oh, So there've been some commercials for the new Roadhouse movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. And somehow it led me down a path of Jake Gyllenhaal being like kind of like low-key underrated, maybe. Like, he's in some good movies, man. Just running through his filmography here on Wikipedia. October Sky, that's a good movie. Bubble Boy, I don't know if he's in Donnie Darko. I've never seen that, but I think people like that. I think the weird people like that. Bubble Boy, I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking it was funny. That came out in 01, so I was like 11 or 12 maybe 13 when I saw it. So just keep that in mind. The Day After Tomorrow, that's a good movie. People like him in Brokeback Mountain. I've never seen that, funny enough. He's in Jarhead. Haven't seen that. I know he's supposed to be good in that. A movie that's wild, Brothers. He's in that. That is a dark movie, but he's very good. End of Watch, another kind of dark movie. Awesome. The movie Prisoners came out in 2013 with him and Hugh Jackman. Again, dark, but he's incredible. Southpaw, very good boxing movie. Everest, there's a theme here. These movies are dark. Southpaw's got some darkness to it. Everest, a sad ending to that one, obviously. Very good in that one, though. He's in Spider-Man Far From Home. He's good. Like, he's good, man. And then he's in this new Roadhouse movie that I guess is getting some pretty decent reviews. It comes out on Amazon here shortly. So, yeah. And then kind of the last thing here. Full Swing came out. Season 2 here on Netflix. I liked it. I thought season 2 was an improvement on season 1. We didn't get told what a cut was 77 different times. So I just made a couple of notes. First of all, Mito Pereira caught a big stray from Justin Thomas in his PGA Champions dinner speech, saying thank you to Mito Pereira. You're the only reason I'm here. Woo, woofda. I did say Liv has made one thing better. It's Full Swing. That's for sure. Ricky Fowler comes off good in this. What else did I see? Jenna Sims and Paulina Gretzky did not come off that likable, whereas I thought Ricky's wife, is Alison Stokey, came off very likable. Claude Harmon was just firing takes off out here, and somehow it was announced. He said that everybody was saying that the worst thing that could happen in golf is a live guy winning a major. That's a wild take. I didn't really recall that. Brooks Koepka winning a major, I don't think it's bad for golf. I think that's pretty good. And I don't think John Rahm or Brooks Koepka or Dustin Johnson or Bryson winning a major this year would be the worst thing. Not that I like DJ. Brooks winning majors at this point, it's like, holy shit, he's just chasing down history. John Rahm and Brooks and DeChambeau aren't necessarily my cup of tea. I've always kind of liked DJ. The Joel Damon episode, God, that was waterworks at the end, man. When Joel Damon and his caddy were having the talk on the plane. Oh, tearjerker. My other thing was Joel Damon is done was my kind of first assessment. And then I look back and he won $3 million last year. Like, I know he's not a top player and like, he's not winning 15 or 20, but like he's winning 3 million. I think he's been off to a pretty rough start again here this year. The Tom Kim episode, they were hyping him the fuck up. Like they turned the hype up to 47 on a 10 and saying he was a generational talent. Like the dude's won 3 times and I don't recall him really being in contention in a major. I know he had a good finish at the British, but was not in contention as Brian Harman ran away with that. What else here? Tom Kim also, the first time he was at Augusta, went to the champions locker room first and was like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I do like Tom Kim. The hype train is not his fault. He comes off good. Matt Fitzpatrick seems like a likable guy. It was kind of odd that Ricky, JT, and Spieth stayed with Zach Johnson at the British Open. Definitely did not help the boys club thing. Keegan came off good in it, I thought. That was kind of heartbreaking when he got the call that he wasn't going to be on the Ryder Cup team. So that was like another one. I was legit crying, like tears coming out of my eyes, down my face when the Joel Damon thing. But I mean, heartbreaking, not tear jerking with Keegan. What else on here? I thought Keegan came off good there. At what point did Dan Rappaport become like the go-to golf analyst? He is featured prominently. Him and Dylan DeChair were featured super prominently. I think Dylan DeChair is a better golf analyst than Dan Rappaport. I don't mean to hate on Rappaport. He does a solid job. But and I guess you have to want to sign up to do this, but I just didn't know that Dan Rappaport was the leading golf analyst in the world, as it would make it seem. So, yeah. So overall, full swing season 2, better than the first season. Felt like we got a little more into like the golf stuff. It's obviously always going to be about like the people off the course too. That's kind of the forte of it, but I like it when it gets a little deeper into the weeds for the golf nuts. Obviously, the golf nuts are a smaller portion of what they're kind of going for, but I thought it was an improvement. All right, that's it. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody for watching, for listening, for hanging out, for just being fans of the pod. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun too. As I said, still a big thanks to producer Kevy. Despite me kind of taking over the editing, like I said, he's probably fielding more questions for me than ever before. So big thanks to him. Back next week, we got the Players Championship. NCAA tournament starts. We are picking every single game again this year. So we're going to have some people on. Like I said, working schedules. I don't know exactly who it's going to be. Trying to get the originals on, but everyone's got busy schedules. And if we can carve out some time to get everybody in, it's awesome. If not, maybe some new folks and going to come on and help us out. So we're back next week. Players, NCAA tournament, Flyers, Heels obviously kind of fall into the NCAA tournament thing. So it's going to be fun. We got a fun couple of weeks coming up. NCAA tournament will be at the draft in no time. So fun stuff coming up on the pod. So until next week, peace.